I, a single father, have 3 kids. Adam, the oldest, Ben, the middle, and Connor, the youngest. Connor has always had struggles with authority, and things only got worse as he grew up. He's been stopped or arrested for shoplifting countless times, and things only got worse from there. He was also diagnosed with kleptomania when he was really young. And as a teenager, he decided to twist his diagnosis by giving him permission. He would say, "Can't help it, so I can't punish him." He's been in therapy for it his whole life. Here's the issue. Just over a year ago, his lack of empathy for who he steals from took a turn for the worse. He worked for a mattress company through a temp agency, and he was asked to help with deliveries one day. They delivered to a retirement home when his impulse control got the best of him, and he took an elderly woman's entire jewelry set. The fallout was significant, and it cost me a small fortune in lawyer fees before he admitted to having the jewelry. And even then, the only reason he gave them up was that he offered to be let off as a junior because of his diagnosis if he returned it. Otherwise, he would be tried as an adult. Of course, he didn't cope well with returning the jewelry, but that's another story. Well, I was fed up. I did the math, and between the lifetime of doctor fees and the ongoing lawyer fees, I've spent roughly half my entire retirement fund on him. I've spent more than I've ever spent on his older siblings on just him alone, and I've paid for their entire education, and I'm currently paying their rent, just rent. They pay their own utilities, groceries, etc. So in his next therapy session, we had a conversation about accountability, about the reality of his enabling himself, that if he didn't smarten up, he'd end up in prison. It sounded like it got through to him until last month. He was almost arrested for attempting to steal silverware from a restaurant. I had to pay them off to not get the police involved, not my proudest moment. When I got him home, I told him I'm done, that on his 18th birthday, I'm cutting him off, that he's on his own with the police or lawyers, and that I won't be paying for his therapy anymore. And that if he's arrested again, not only is he not welcome back into my home, but he would be on his own for that too. I think he thought I was bluffing, but true to my word, I cut him off. He's sitting in a jail cell right now because he got caught trying to steal a PayPad machine from a corner store. He called and I told him he's on his own. His older siblings say they understand where I'm coming from, but that I'm an idiot for how I'm going about it because they say from Connor's I've effectively disowned him. Family has gotten wind, and I'm being called an idiot for the same reason. Now I'm having doubts, so I'm turning to you guys. I just don't know what to do anymore. Not the idiot. He's legally an adult. He has to suffer the consequences of actively choosing to not learn from his mistakes and control his impulses. You two may never have contact again, and he'll most definitely twist the story to be in his favor should he ever tell it to anyone. But cutting him off to be on his own is the best thing you can do, both for his sake and your own, because you've been enabling him this whole time. You are the idiot. Your kid has problems, possibly more than what he's been diagnosed with. It's evident his diagnosis is either incorrect or his treatment isn't working. He's an 18-year-old child with serious issues that will limit him, and your solution is to cut him off. No idiots here. I'm sorry you are in such a sad situation. Unfortunately, it sounds like the only way he's gonna learn that his actions have consequences is if he faces those consequences. My concern is that if you continue to bail him out, that he'll just keep doing worse and worse things until he gets himself in a situation where you can't possibly bail him out. Perhaps the issue with your other children is that you led with this being about money, maybe because you feel that you need a way to justify your actions. I don't think you do, by the way. In terms of your other children, I think you should tell them that you love them all equally, and you will be there for your son, just not financially. Because you need him to learn to look after himself and to break his cycle so he can build himself a better life. My mom is getting married at the July. My daughter was going to be her flower girl. I know she's a bit old for the role, but she is the youngest granddaughter. Over the holiday, my husband and I were both on call, so my daughter stayed with my brother and his wife. They went over to my mom and fiancé's house. While they were there, my mom bleached my daughter's hair without even asking me. We dye her hair semi-regularly with Arctic Fox, which is safe for kids. About a week ago, we dyed it a beautiful blue. My mom detests unnatural hair colors and has been hounding me to fix it for the wedding. My daughter was fine with being a brunette for a little while when I asked. I would let her blue fade out naturally, then put a dark brown over it a bit before the wedding, but I guess that wasn't soon enough for my mother. Obviously, I'd never bleach a child's hair, but my mother in all her glory decided it was a perfect time to fix her hair for me. This woman used to be a stylist over a decade ago, so she should know better. I am furious. Her hair is so dry and damaged, and the blue isn't even out. It's like this splotchy faded green blue with spots of blonde. I don't want to put any product on it now because I don't want to risk more damage. The only good thing is she didn't touch the roots. I have an appointment Thursday at the salon I go to for her to try and fix it. I told my mom we won't be going to her wedding, which is causing a commotion. I've been getting a lot of she's a control freak. It's just how she is. It's not a big deal. It's just hair from almost everyone. I cannot believe my sister-in-law, who's usually the best babysitter, let this happen. My brother says I can just fix it like it's so easy. My daughter hates her hair and expects a pretty bleach blonde like Billie Eilish, which her grandma promised, not a faded mess. People act like I'm overreacting and that my mom's best intentions trumps my own parental choices. I know people already judge me for letting my kid have colored hair. They don't see how bleach is different. So am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. Your mother is a real piece of work. This is your child, not hers. You mentioned that other people have called her a control freak. Assuming that she's repeatedly crossed boundaries before, I'd say you're pretty safe to lay down extra guardrails and deny her access to your child if she can't adhere to your terms. Not the idiot. It's just how she is. The classic rug sweep when dealing with toxic individuals. How would you characterize your relationship with your mom otherwise? You, of course, right to be upset about her extreme boundary stomping. However, the issue is not really about whether you should attend the wedding, but how to reset your relationship with your mom so that she never oversteps again. Does your daughter still want to participate in the wedding? Could you attend without having her play a part in your mother's fantasy? Oh, absolutely not the idiot. This goes beyond just hair. If your mother is described as a control freak within your family, I shudder to think what other boundaries she's crossed or will cross without you putting your foot down. Your mother had no right to do this to your child. And to be honest, she shouldn't dictate how your child looks even over a single day that's about her. I honestly take issue with weddings being only about the bride. Also, how come every story about self-centered toxic parents always has several relatives backing them up, trying to sweep it all under the rug? It's starting to seem to me that there are 2 or 3 weak-willed relatives enabling the entire thing for every abusive family member. My stepdaughter, she's in college and I don't have a good relationship. I've been in her life since she was 9. Her father and I started dating 3 months after he filed for divorce. We were colleagues for a short while about a year before their divorce, but we didn't have any relationship then. I left the firm just 6 months after we started working together. I didn't even think about him once till we reconnected at a party hosted by one of our colleagues. His ex-wife thinks that he had an affair with me. There's nothing we can do to convince her otherwise. She told her daughter about her suspicions when she was still a little girl. We had a great relationship till then, and I tried to tell her that her dad didn't cheat. She doesn't believe us. It's just our words against her mother, and the timeline does look a bit suspicious. She withdrew from me, and she's always been a bit distant since then. And sometimes she made some remarks about her father being a cheater, and it was very hard on both of us. We tried to talk about it, but it was just our word against her mother's, and she truly believed it. She returned home for summer break after her freshman year. She decided to spend most of the time with her mother, but she does visit us occasionally. She visited us 2 days ago. Unfortunately, she was in a remarkably bad mood. She was just stewing in silence and watching something on TV. I asked her to turn the volume down as I was working. She blew up on me. She called me a homewrecker and a gold digger. She accused me of ruining her parents' marriage. I was stunned, and it hurt me. I knew she didn't like me, but she clearly hated me. I think her calling me a gold digger hurt the most. I'm at a stage of my career where I want to switch to something less stressful, but one of the reasons I don't is because we don't want her to be burdened by debt. I love this girl even if she doesn't care about me. I asked her to leave the house and come back when she was a bit calmer. She left the house and she is not talking to her father. He tried to speak to her and she's not speaking to him. I feel incredibly guilty. I should have handled it better. I got too emotional about it. I really can't blame her for believing what her mom told her. If my mom told me something similar about dad, I would have believed it, and I can't blame her mother either. If you thought that your spouse cheated, wouldn't you tell your children at some point? I let her words get to me, and I may have hurt my husband's relationship with her. I feel so guilty. My husband also thinks that I should have been calmer and let her vent a bit before talking to her. Not the idiot. She was incredibly rude to you in your own home, and she's an adult, not a hormonal teen anymore. Your husband should be firm with her, but he's probably afraid of losing her altogether. Invite her back now that everyone is calm and show a united front. Tell her the facts of your relationship, that you pay your way and that you love her. Also, tell her that her rudeness won't be tolerated in your house. She might be unhappy, but she can't sit on your settee watching your TV and expect to treat you like dirt. Everyone's the idiot here, primarily her mom. I'm sure she's been fed poison by her for years. You're right that you could have handled it a bit better than sending her out of the house, but understandably, this would be frustrating. Your stepdaughter, of course, is the idiot because she won't at least try to believe her father. I really have to disagree with your opinion. The OP didn't even chuck her out. Instead, OP asked the daughter to temporarily remove herself from a situation where she intentionally inflicted emotional pain on someone else. OP has a right to protect herself from the attacks of another adult, and she absolutely does not have to suffer like a silent martyr because someone else told a lie to a child a long time ago. The daughter isn't a bad person and I understand her frustrations and pain, but that doesn't make her behavior in this case any less unacceptable. This young woman is a victim of her mother's lies about you. The bio mom is the main idiot here. Those lies do not excuse stepdaughter's behavior toward you in your own home. Yes, you could have handled it better, but we are human beings. We are imperfect. Tell her you're sorry for telling her to leave, but that you were upset because you did not have an affair with your husband while he was still with the bio mom. You are not the idiot. Forgive yourself too. My nearly adult female mom is a tutor and teaches first grade. In my opinion, she shouldn't be working with little kids. During the school year, she'd come home at least once a week and tell us that she'd made one of her students cry. I volunteered in that class and she yells at them all the time. My mom also scared the crap out of us when it comes to school. She'd start every year by telling us, "This year is 3 times harder than last year. Your grade will go down a whole letter for every assignment you don't turn in. And remember, if you have any unexcused absences, you won't be allowed to graduate." She thinks it motivated us. What really happened is I was diagnosed with severe anxiety. I'd go to school with 104, 105-degree fevers because I was scared I wouldn't be allowed to graduate if I stayed home. I had major panic attacks every time I couldn't do an assignment, rarely. My brother was sick and stayed home the first week of school and had a hard time catching up, so he decided that he was done for and decided to stop caring. He ditched regularly, didn't do the majority of his assignments because he thought he was going to fail anyway, started smoking to help with his anxiety and depression. And has failed so many classes because he didn't care because he thought he would fail anyway. He's about to start his 5th year of high school. She was tutoring a group of 8th graders and told them all her BS about high school, and I told them that she's wrong and that your grade won't go down that much if you forget the occasional assignment. Unexcused absences only mean you might not be able to make up any tests on the day you missed and that it shouldn't be 3 times harder if your teachers did their jobs and taught you what you need to know for high school. After they left, she screamed at me for making her look bad and for lying to the students. She hasn't talked to me since, so I wanted to know if I was the idiot, not the idiot. You're right. Your mom shouldn't be a teacher at any grade level. She's scaring them straight into failure. You did those kids a favor. Your mother seems more worried about how she's perceived than about actually helping these children. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. Not the idiot. Sheesh. I felt sorry for the kids. Then I felt sorry that your mom must have had such a horrid upbringing in education that she either believes that is how difficult education is or wants to frighten and emotionally attack children. Then I felt sorry for you, OP, and your sibling. Not the idiot. Your mom is clearly a disaster and should not be tutoring students. That said, I initially wanted to say you are the idiot because you did the wrong thing by bringing that up with the students instead of with a responsible party like the school. You should report her inappropriate behavior and get her removed from tutoring. That said, you are not an idiot. You're just a child. You've borne the brunt of terrible parenting, and it's putting a huge responsibility onto you to deal with your mother's issues like this. So I recommend you report her behavior, but it's completely understandable if that is difficult for you to do. I've been dating Josh for about a year. My family doesn't like him, but honestly, they can be pretty dramatic and exclusionary. My brother has been married for 20 years, and my mom still can't get along with her. Josh is a great guy, but honestly, he can get preachy. He is a self-identified social justice warrior. I really like passion. It's my number 1 turn on with a guy. We previously had an issue when he told my 10-year-old daughter, who's half black, that she shouldn't be wearing braids because she doesn't know the history behind them. He also doesn't think she should straighten her hair because of internalized discrimination. My daughter likes to switch her hair up, and I pretty much let her wear it however she likes. We worked through that, though. Anyway, my parents' 50th anniversary is coming up, and my oldest sister, Ava, is throwing them a surprise party. My family likes to do really elaborate parties, so there's usually a theme and lots of cool decorations and food. Eva wanted to do an Asian lanterns theme. Our mom is Thai, and our dad is Korean. Josh thinks it's cultural appropriation because it's vague and doesn't relate to one specific cultural aspect. Eva admitted she just liked the aesthetic, thought it paid homage to their culture, and we could do a lot of fabulous food options. It's okay if Josh doesn't like it, but he kept making comments to Ava. Technically, all 4 siblings are supposed to be planning, but I'm not good at that stuff. Middle sister doesn't like parties, and my mom and brother are semi-estranged. So really, Ava is doing all the work. Ava got fed up and said he isn't invited. I told him to just let it be and not come. He doesn't like my family anyway, and I think it was weird that he was telling us how to interact with Asian culture when he's not Asian. He says I'm not standing up for him or our relationship. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your boyfriend is not a social justice warrior. He's an idiot. At best, he reads partial headlines of articles and bases his statements off of that. Your boyfriend seemingly has no understanding of black hair and the issues black people deal with because of their hair in the US. Several styles of braids exist, and just wearing braids in general is not cultural appropriation. Your daughter is half black and can wear braids or straighten her hair if she wants to. He is also wrong about the lanterns. Without nuance, he has no right to speak to your family about that. If you do not check him on his nonsense, you are the idiot for staying with him, especially after what he said to your daughter. I mean, I think the real question here is, why are you okay with this guy being around your daughter? I'm all for social justice and making the world a better place, but the way he's going about it is exhausting. You are the idiot for subjecting your daughter to someone who seems to be doing mental gymnastics to get the point across. Not the idiot, but your boyfriend seems to be a giant one. Insulting your child should have been a huge red flag. Insulting the rest of the family is a giant one as well. Gaslighting you and the people around you is not nice at all. He is an idiot, not a passionate guy. He doesn't like them but still expects them to like him. He is being an idiot makes him not deserving of respect. While I can get over family stuff, the comments about your daughter should have been the point of getting him out of your and your kid's life.